Blog Talk Radio.
But we are making a stand, and we're waking everybody up that 9/11 was an inside job. And you are the minority. You are the cowards who don't know the truth. You're the people that serve this evil system. You're the people that serve a system that hurts innocent men, women, and children. Not just Iraqis, not just Afghans, not just Africans, but the people right here in this nation. You serve a new world order that attacks and feeds on you. And I'm here to tell you that you will be defeated. Your hours are numbered. We've got the energy. We've got the life force. All you've got is evil backing you up. All you've got is greed and liking to look at yourself in the mirror. Because deep down, the New World Order is a pot-bellied, chicken-necked ninny. And all the armor and all the weapons are nothing. You are nothing compared to good. You are nothing compared to life. And you will be defeated. I want the individuals out there, I want free humanity to turn themselves loose, to cut the chains loose, and to use the end of that chain to slap the New World Order right upside the head. You've got the power. You want to know who's going to defeat the New World Order? It is you. You're the individuals that are going to be able to defeat this system. You're the individuals that are going to be able to take down the New World Order. It doesn't matter if Ron Paul wins. It doesn't matter if they rig the election. What matters is that we're starting to stand up. We're starting to move. We're starting to find our legs. We're starting to build our muscle. We're starting to realize that we do have power, and we can work together, and we can take action, and that the naysayers are a pack of weak liars who have never had any successes in their life and who are upset and frustrated to see us beginning to have victories against tyranny. They don't have any respect for themselves. They don't have any vision, and they don't have any will. And they sure don't have any of the power that shines out of God's soul and energizes all life in the universe. They have wed themselves to death, and they will crumble, and they will fall, and for eternity we wed ourselves to life, and to everything good, and everything that flows from it.
Renewed hostile actions against United States ships on the high seas and the Gulf of Tonkin have today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? He still has the gun. The gun is pointed at me right at this moment. Take a hold of his thumb and break it if you have to. We will run a we have an explosion and we are defending it. We agree. Let's try our best.
People calling themselves members of the Weather Underground last night planted bombs in federal office buildings in Washington and Oakland, California.
They took the babies out of the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
Survivors of the USS Liberty are demanding a congressional investigation into what happened and acknowledgement that the Israeli Air Force bombed a U.S. intelligence Navy ship.
The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat al-Qaeda.
The Taliban is taking responsibility for shooting down a U.S. helicopter. More than 30 people were killed, and there are reports this morning that most of them are U.S. Navy SEALs.
There may be a false flag incident where some ship goes down and you be used for the excuse to accelerate the next war.
If there's one thing that has unified Democrats and Republicans, and everybody in between, is that we all hated the bank bailout.
The Department of Homeland Security is apparently on a huge ammo buying spree.
It comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition.
Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people.
They estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill.
I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game.
From the front lines of the information war, Good evening, everyone. How you doing? My name is Joseph Gibson. We are live on Blog Talk Radio. It is Thursday evening, a little after 6 p.m. on the East Coast. We are 100% live. There's no editing, no one-minute delays, no call screening. If I connect you, you're live. I don't ask you what you're going to talk about before you come on. We are 100% live, so you need to understand that. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is well and good. It's been an eventful week for myself. I actually scanned the network on Blog Talk Radio and actually appeared on several Blog Talk Radio shows throughout the week, and kind of like are trying to unite the alternative media here, where we can all talk about the things that are truthful without the bankers owning us. Because we know Fox News is owned by the bankers. We know CNN is owned by the bankers, George Soros, and all the other scumbags out there, and the New World Order thugs. We know about them. And those of you who are just tuning in tonight, you may say, this guy's nuts. What the hell is he talking about? Well, pay attention and start doing your own research and stop listening to what the television tells you to think, believe, and wear, and start living your own life and understanding the times in which we live in today. That's the title of this show. Okay? And if anyone has something they want to talk about or say, I always welcome everyone, every single night that I'm here. Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to come on to this show and have your say. If you're too scared to speak up, or you're too scared, or you just want to talk behind YouTube in the comment section or on Facebook or Twitter, and you're too afraid to say what you got to say, shame on you. Because you know what? You need to stand for something or you're going to fall for everything. And that was from George Washington in one of his farewell addresses that he gave a speech in. That's just a small quote. You must stand for something or you're going to fall for everything. So if you don't stand for what you believe or what you think is true, or you don't want to have a voice to speak about what's going on in your neighborhood, in your community, or your country, then you know what? You have no right to complain when things go wrong your way. And that's a fact. And I always ask everyone, if you want to challenge me, you want to come on here and debate me, or even if you want to support what I have to say, you're more than welcome. I give the number out. It's on the website. All you got to do, I will always connect everyone after this short introduction. Now, we know what's going on in the news today. We know that the presidential election is very important, even though we know that the next president is just the CEO of the United States Corporation. We understand that. We know that. Those of you who listen to this show, and I've been educating those of you about the Republic and when it actually fell in 1871 after the Reconstruction Acts. But the matter still remains. We do have to have a president. We need to have a face man out there. And we know the last president we really had was John F. Kennedy. And we understand what happened to him. His head was blown off because he stood for what was right. And he understood that the Federal Reserve hijacked this country in the year 1910, and it was enacted in 1913. Okay? He understood that. And many other issues, which we're not going to get into right now. And Ronald Reagan understood that. And we know what happened to him. They tried to take his head off. They put one in his chest. Okay? Ronald Reagan was technically our last great president that stood for the middleman, the working man, the man who was out there every day trying to survive and doing the right thing, trying to make a living the legal and rightful way. Today, the right way is sucking on the system, collecting welfare, food stamps, Social Security, when you're not really disabled, lying, cheating. Because after all, hey, why should I work, right? That's the attitude today. Well, you know what? This presidential election coming up, we have a front runner, Donald Trump, and I've noticed over the past couple days, the media has really changed its tune. They're trying to really pretend that this Cruz guy, this Mr. Cruz, is really gaining ground on Donald Trump. But he's not. He's not. Okay? Donald Trump is leading in every poll in every state. So whatever your banker-owned media is telling you is a lie. Now, I remember I asked an individual, I believe it was the other Sunday show, to call in and check with us. I believe he lives out in Nevada. I hope he's on the phone line tonight. All he has to do is press 1 and I'll connect. I've got about 49 callers on the phone line tonight. If he wants to talk or talk about what he witnessed out there, because he has his ears to the ground, and I know I communicated with him through YouTube and email a couple times, and I'm sorry I haven't been in touch with you sooner, but, you know, our show times are Sundays and Thursdays, and in between, I'm trying to schedule guests for the future, and I cannot always answer every single email. However, if this caller is on the line, I'll scan through the numbers right now, and I'll try to connect them. And I'm going to, okay, there he is. This is the caller. I remember this caller. And I'm going to go ahead and connect you live, sir, right now. Okay, you're connected. And, hey, how you doing tonight?
It's a beautiful day in Las Vegas. I know it's nighttime where you are. I'm practically in the shadows of the Trump building right now. It was a glorious day Tuesday, a landslide epic victory. We got to finish off this Rubio guy. Your phrase bank-owned media, that's got to be some of the best stuff I've ever heard. Bank-owned media.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And it's so great because you see all these foreclosed homes that say bank-owned. And bank-owned media,
right.
I love it. Yeah.
You
need to patent that, trademark that.
I need to trademark that before someone else steals it. Hey, I appreciate that. But listen, you're out there in Nevada, and you have your ears to the ground, and obviously you're informed. You're part of the information world, and I appreciate you calling back into the show. And by all means, I hope you continue to do so because you seem like you're well informed. And I don't have a problem with you calling in and being a supporter of this show and having a voice on this show because we are growing. And like I stated, you know, we had the former president of Canada on this show 2 weeks ago and the ambassador of the Chinese embassy on this show. And I'm trying to get Donald Trump onto this show. I don't know if I can, but I really am reaching out to him. And I actually want to get the other candidates also on this show because I want, even though I am a supporter of Donald Trump, I want to hear what everyone has to say. Everyone has a right to say what they got to say, but you're out there in Nevada. I want to know what was your take of the win of Donald Trump, and what's the word out there in Nevada? I mean, what's the feeling? I mean, just give me your personal opinion of what you saw and what you heard, knowing as a person who is informed, not like others who are zombies, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, Trump had several thousand. The estimates are 8,000 to 9,000 at South Point Arena. South Point's a casino at the far southern end of the Strip on the way to California. And he had, pushing 10,000 people there. And Marco Rubio, who lived in Las Vegas for many years, couldn't even get 1,000 people at his venue. I went there with my truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
He had about 800 people there, and I'm being generous. That includes reporters. Yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
And but here's the problem. Marco Rubio has what's that?
What about Cruz?
I wouldn't worry about him. I think he's toast. He's Texas toast.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Continue your point. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to know about Cruz and how he did out there, or if he had any type of support whatsoever.
Yeah,
I told you.
I was watching the CNN numbers live, and there was about a 2-minute span where he took the lead over Rubio. He was down the whole night. I think he ended up 5 or 6 points down from Rubio. I think he's a non-entity. But we need to be concerned about this Rubio, this warmonger who wants to go to war, nuclear war with Vladimir Putin. He's got a very heart-tugging life story about how his family had to move to Nevada so that his father could get a bartending gig, because all of a sudden at the age of 50 he was a bar back for 22-year-old kids that were the bartenders, and he was making minimum wage. And there's going to be no end to the heartstrings that this Rubio campaign is going to try to pull on people.
Well, that's
so what we got to do,
about.
I think, in my opinion, is get the word out. Okay, you got a nice biography, fella. We do not want to go to war with Vladimir Putin. We're not doing it. We're not going to vote for you. We probably won't vote for you in the general election. If Hillary Clinton gets in there, so be it. We're not voting for you. I'll tell you what, if John McCain was, and I hate Barack Obama. I literally hate him. I hate him. Okay, there's no stronger, you get the point. Okay, but at least we're not at nuclear war with Russia. I think John McCain would have us fully engaged in nuclear holocaust with Russia. And Rubio is that kind of guy, so we have to stop him.
You're absolutely correct, and that's what I'm worried about. Is they're talking about? See, everyone's riding this Trump, okay? And yeah, Trump's got a free ticket to the convention, but look, they start pulling tricks out in this convention where Trump, if he doesn't receive the proper amount of delegates, what happens? It goes to the convention, and then the committee decides who they're going to have be the nominee, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, my precinct was roundly 10 Trump supporters and 1 Ted Cruz supporter, and the Ted Cruz supporter ended up being an alternate delegate because some slick guy showed up and took control of the precinct meeting, and before you knew it, we had 3 Trump delegates and a Cruz alternate. Against everybody's wishes. A few of us were furious. The rest of us didn't know what was going on. I was one of the ones who was furious. And, so, and I would say if Donald Trump's paraphernalia is a bit expensive and you don't want to spend the money on a T-shirt, what I do every day, I wear my Trump T-shirt that I got for free from the campaign, is just go to one of those stores that makes the T-shirts for the Little League teams, with the iron-on letters, and just get a shirt. Just put Trump on it. Just walk around.
You're absolutely correct. And you know what? It's like a bumper sticker. You put a bumper sticker on the back of your car and you just say you go out to dinner with your family. They say over 10,000 people see that bumper sticker, whether it's people who fall behind you or when you're parked. Just say you drive around for a day. The many hundreds or thousands of people that see that bumper sticker, it implants a seed. It implants a seed in one's head where they see that name. And we all know, look, you live a busy life, I live a busy life, all the listeners live a busy life. We all do today in America, and that's just the way the times are. However, when you see an image like that, the Illuminati, the bankers, they all do the same thing, signs and symbols. We need to attack them the same way they attack us. We need to be anti-establishment, and we need to attack them in a godly, positive manner where we could be anti-New World Order, just like you. You're informed. You know what's going on, and I understand. Trump ain't going to solve all the problems, but we need him there as in that position, so we, the patriots out there in the information war, can start to change this country in a positive way. And it's not going to happen overnight, folks. It's not. I mean, what do you think? If Trump is elected, what do you think the process is going to be, in your personal opinion as an American citizen out there who is well informed? How do you think this is going to play out in the future?
Well, I think he's going to club everybody over the head that doesn't go along with the agenda that we want. And I think that he's got the right people in place. The Jerome Corsi's, the Alex Jones of the world, people like you are in place advising this man. And so every now and then he has a little screw up, but he's going to get straightened out on it. And he'll probably do 3, 4, 5 things during the course of his first term that we don't like. In fact, we might be downright upset about 1 or 2 of those things. But it's going to be a lot better than anybody else, maybe with the exception of Ron Paul. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct, and I appreciate what you just said, Ron Paul. I was a very diehard Ron Paul supporter, and I remember in 2008 when people would say, Ron who? Ron who? And then in 2012, they're like, okay, we know who he is. But like you said, if Ron Paul or Donald Trump is elected, which I hope he is, which I think he is, there's going to be some pain. There's going to be pain in the beginning, like you just said. But we need to understand. We have to absorb that pain because we have to get rid of the evil. We got to get rid of the wrong. And you're right. Some of us may suffer a little bit. But you know what? We will secure the future for our children and grandchildren, you know, and that's what people need to understand.
If there's anybody out there on Social Security disability or on Social Security because you're over 55 or whatever the age is, Trump isn't going to touch that, and he doesn't have to because he's going to grow this economy to the point where the Social Security deficit that we're running right now, I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. That's a good point because a lot of elderly people out there are afraid, like, oh, my God, Trump, you know, he's not for people collecting off the government. No, that's not true. You need to understand, Trump is a businessman. He's going to take care of the employees who put their time in the system. You understand what I'm saying? And people need to understand that. He's a businessman. He's a successful businessman. Successful businessmen always take care of the employees because without employees, you have no business, you know? So, and that's what I was talking about the United States Corporation. We need to understand this. There may be a little pain in the beginning, just like if Ron Paul was in there. He wanted to end the Federal Reserve. Do you understand? Ending the Federal Reserve would mean catastrophic to our economy. However, it would only take 2 to 3 years before we return to the gold standard and rebuild it and restored our factories and our our system. You know, back when we were great in the 1900s, middle 1800s, when we were a strong industrial economy. And that's what Ron Paul was trying to do, is return back to sound money, not fake money. We have fake money today. These Federal Reserve notes are just paper receipts, you know, and they're hurting our future. They're hurting and people don't understand that. And I know you understand that. But go ahead. I want to give you another couple minutes. Go ahead and say what you got to say tonight. And I hope that you're a supporter of this show and you continue to contribute. And I'd love to have you back on every time I broadcast.
Good. Thanks for having me.
I'll give you a voice. I'll give you the voice because you seem well informed, and I always welcome the supporters of this show to say what they got to say and give their knowledge and their opinion, because you know what? I could sit here and talk for an hour and a half. Big deal. I want to hear from everyone else. So hearing from you, a fresh voice who lives out in the West, in Nevada, I'm here in Greensboro, North Carolina, is a pleasure. So go ahead and, say whatever you got to say, and I'll turn to the next caller.
Well, right at this moment, I'm about 100 yards from the front door of the Trump building. I'm going to walk in there, and it's going to be an honor to be on your program and standing inside of Donald Trump's building simultaneously. And if anybody's in Nevada, I'll be watching the debate tonight. What is it, 8 Eastern, so 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 West. I think it starts at the half hour, so 8:30, 7:30, 6:30, 5:30, and that debate's on CNN. Oh, you might find it interesting that CNN was was the channel on at the Trump party, the Trump victory party, which was at Treasure Island.
Correct.
And Steve Wynn was in attendance. Steve Wynn owns the Wynn in the Encore Casino.
Yeah.
And so Steve Wynn is a supporter.
I want to tell you something. Listen, you always have a voice on my program because you impressed me and you impressed some of my supporters, because some of my supporters called me afterwards after the show, and they liked the fact that you were able to contribute from a faraway place like Nevada, because, you know, we're mainly here on the East Coast. And it's great that you were able to, hey, keep your word, call in like you did. And like I said, you're always welcome to have a voice on this program at any time. Okay?
Awesome. Receptionist at the Trump bar. I'm going to order a drink while I'm on the phone with you. And if anybody else is in one of these states with a primary coming up, you know, maybe you can encourage them to kind of do the same. Because
right.
that man on the street stuff, I think, is great, and that's what we have over the MSM, or as you call them, the bank-owned media.
You like that, huh? You like that title I gave him?
That's excellent. That's excellent. That's one of the best things I've heard in a while. I haven't heard anything better than that in a while.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I have that much respect for you. And I want to let you know something. My supporters who I talked to after the show on Sunday actually have the utmost respect for you because of what you say, because you're well-spoken and you know what you're talking about. So I appreciate your comments and your contribution to this show.
Well, thank you. Well, cheers to anybody else. I'm having my Belvedere and tonic. He's pouring it right now.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. And I'm going to go ahead and mute you right now, but thank you. And I hope you check in again. I really do. You're always welcome on this show at any time. I have your number logged in. Only I do. And anytime you check in with this show, I promise you'll get your voice heard, okay?
Great. And anybody wants to watch the debate in Vegas, just come to the Bally Sportsbook. You'll see me watching it.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless. Take care. Be safe out there. Keep up the good fight.
Awesome. You too. Thank you.
Thank you. I got Mike out in Wisconsin. Who wants to participate tonight. I just muted that caller from Nevada. And you know, he's a supporter of the show, obviously, now. And my word stands true. Anytime he calls in, you know, he's more than welcome to have his say, because I appreciate that. I really do. But I'm going to go ahead and connect Mike from out in Wisconsin. Go ahead, Mike. I got you on right now.
Hey, good evening, everybody. First off, before I say anything or do anything, I'd really like to thank the gentleman from Nevada to doing what he's doing. If we could, like he says, if we could have somebody from each state just chime in and tell us what's really going on. You know, if you notice,
you're absolutely right, Mike. You're right, Mike. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I do invite everyone. And I know I have callers from on many states. You know, they need to chime in, and they'll get the same time the gentleman from Nevada got on this program. I received many emails complimenting him for what he knows and his knowledge. And would you believe it, Mike? He and I actually hooked up through an email on Infowars.com, and he promised he'd call in. He kept his word, and, hey, he's got a voice on this show anytime he wants. But go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you, he's a very unusual fellow, because most people, their word don't mean anything anymore. Their promises don't mean anything anymore. You know, I'm going to do this, I'll see you here, you know, whatever. They don't show up, they don't call. You know, to have somebody on like him is refreshing, actually. The other thing I'd like to say is kind of what he was kind of saying, that any of the other candidates, are they saying they're going to make America great? Are they saying anything like that? No, they're not. Trump is the only one from the beginning said he's going to make America great again. And I like that word again, because that means he's not taking, you know, all the praise if he does it, because we have been great before. And I like I say, I'm not boasting about it, but I've been for Trump since the beginning. And the reason I've been for him is because, just like you said, Joe, he's a businessman. He's not a politician. And, if, like you said, he has no employees, he has no company,
Bingo, that's correct. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, Mike. You're absolutely correct, Mike. And what the points you're making, and just like the gentleman out in Nevada, without people like him and you, Mike, and my other supporters like Joe and Sebastian, Florida, Bridget in Reedsville, North Carolina, Elizabeth in Wallingford, and all the shows we've done, even having the famous people on this show. Without you, the people who keep their word, that will call into this show and give their opinion and ask questions, without you, there's no show. And it's just like you were just saying, without these individuals who are going to participate in our democracy, in our republic, there is no republic. And this gentleman out in Nevada is a gentleman who is proactive. He's out there with his ears to the ground, working, trying to make our country great again. And that's why I gave him a spot on this show where anytime he feels the need to call in or has something to say, he is more than welcome. And I gave that invitation out to several people like you, Mike, and others. If you have something you want to say that is important or you feel is important, you're out there working, trying to save your freaking next door neighbor, your community, your country. For God's sake, you have a voice on this program. And that's what I'm trying to say. And that was great, like you just said, Mike, and I appreciate that. But, Mike, I want to go ahead and connect Joe from Meriden. I'll keep you on the line live. I'll go ahead and connect Joe from Meriden.
Hello.
Go ahead.
How's everybody?
Yes, you're on.
How's everybody?
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Joe. Yeah, I jotted down a couple things as you started the show. You were speaking to a gentleman in Nevada, about getting these politicians on your show. I mean, you know what they're going to say. And Mike brought up a good point there. Rubio's going to say Obama knows exactly what he's doing, and he's going to go on for 24 more seconds. Kasich is going to say, I saved 3 million jobs in Ohio. Cruz is going to say, well, let me say this. Jeb's going to say, what? My mother? My father? And Carson's going to say, peace, people, relax. And Trump is going to say, we'll make America great again. And on the other side, Colonel Sanders, work? Who, me? And Clinton's going to say, women? And that's what they're talking about. And that's what they're talking about. And Trump is funding himself, and that is great.
Well, you're absolutely correct. That's very, very, very important that he's funding himself. I mean, he's not taking your money, Joe. He's not taking the gentleman out in Nevada's money. He's not taking my money. But you know what I did tonight is I contacted a couple of these campaign headquarters. And I'm not trying to clog up the whole show with this, but I contacted a few of these campaign headquarters to see if I could get someone from their campaign headquarters on our show. Now, I reached out to the Trump headquarters, and someone did contact me back, and they said they would get back to me when North Carolina was, one of the next states they were going to tour. Which is fine. I understand that. Now, the other campaign headquarters kind of ignored me. And I got Ted Cruz right now. I got his campaign headquarters. And I'm going to go ahead and try to call them while I have everyone on the line right now. I'm going to dial them, and we're going to see what they have to say, if I'm going to get some silly recording or not. This is Ted Cruz. And this is what I've done today. I researched their numbers, and we're going to see if we can get them on the air live. Someone from their headquarters.
You can tell them you're calling from North Carolina, and you have 121 seats that they could get.
You're absolutely correct. I have someone from Georgia already on the line, but I can't take that call. But anyway, this is the Ted Cruz campaign headquarters. I'm calling them right now live.
Box of the person you are calling is currently full and cannot accept new messages. Please try your call again later. Thank you.
Okay, you see, that's what I get from the numbers I have one other number, though, so let's be patient here. I have one other number for Ted Cruz. So remember, this is off the internet, and we know everything on, most things on the internet are a scam. This is his senator office. So surely I'll receive somebody here. This is a Washington, D.C. number, and I'm going to go ahead and call them right now, so just be patient with me. I'm typing in the number.
Have that gentleman sitting in the bar walk upstairs.
All right, I'm dialing the number right now. We'll see. We'll see if we can get him right now live.
Hi, this is Ted Cruz. Thank you for calling my Washington, D.C. office. It is an honor and privilege to serve the great state of Texas as your United States Senator, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments. To leave a message for me about current issues or legislation, please press 1. For information regarding our office address and hours, please press 2. For instructions on how to submit a scheduling request, please press 3. To speak to a member of my staff, please press 0. And to repeat this message, please press star. Thank you so much, and God bless Texas.
The number you have dialed has not been recognized.
Okay, I tried
Please try again.
1, 2, and 3, like he said, and I've got a recording. So
hi, this is Ted Cruz. Thank you for calling my Washington, D.C. office.
Oh, boy.
It is an honor and privilege to serve the great state of Texas as your United States Senator, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments. To leave a...
Okay, he's off the air. There we go. But that's what you get. Those are two numbers.
But what I wanted to say is, you see, it's getting real good now, and it's getting very feisty, and we're going to see what kind of president Trump could actually be. Because when they start coming out with all this mudslinging and all these lies and everything else, let's see, planned, and he's prepared well enough to tell them where to go.
Well, you're absolutely correct. And so far he has done that. And the establishment has actually rebuked him. And just not to, I have one other number here for Ted Cruz. Maybe I screwed up and I made a mistake, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And we'll try one more where I can get somebody live instead of a recording. And that's what I'm trying to do because, this is a live radio show. And surely they would love to give a statement, live on the air here. So I'm dialing right now, and we'll go ahead and try this last number here real quick.
The mailbox of the person you are calling is currently full and cannot accept new messages. Please try your call again later. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We
see what I got.
We really have to appreciate the technology we have today. Because when I was growing up, in order to get two people on the phone at one time, I did it at home, but I was an electronics enthusiast. But you know what? It was impossible. And to get people from all over the world listening and talking together, that was unheard of. You had to go through the operator to get a couple.
Well, what year are you talking about? What years are you talking about here?
Up until 70, let's say.
Okay. And you're saying this type of thing that I'm doing right now where I'm calling someone from another part of the country while you're listening in another part of the country was unheard of in the year 1970, correct?
Pretty much. Don't forget there was no internet or anything else, so of course it was. So you can do away with the entire internet aspect of everything, but just total phone and everything. I live in Meriden, Connecticut. We were the test bucket for total phone, and it came out here in like 1960, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but around 1960, total phone came out in Meriden, but it didn't happen in the rest of the state until many, many, many years later. And total phone, I don't even know then if you could call two people at once or not. But that's all you get.
Well, you're absolutely correct. But and the technology today has, in your opinion, has it helped us today?
Well,
I mean,
I think that we're benefiting from the technology. Yes, although I'm going to go back to my original statement that we really don't know what we're doing, because we're on these voice over IP calls and everything, and we're getting disconnected because we haven't figured out all the idiosyncrasies and all the problems that come into play. But as in a whole, yeah, it's much better.
Okay, well, I can respect that, but the fact of the matter is that has the technology today helped us compared to the way you were living yesterday? Like, for instance, I'm younger than you are. I'm a young man, and a lot of our callers are younger, and maybe you're a little bit older, maybe in your 50s or 60s, and like Mike out in Wisconsin, or like we had Joe from Sebastian, Florida, who supported this show. He's in his 80s. What was the technology like in the 60s and 70s? Is it benefiting us today and helping us solve the problems we're facing today in our day-to-day lives, or is it just something else that's screwing our lives up every day?
Well, I think your latter statement is what it is. It's screwing everything up, because if we didn't have it and we never had it, we wouldn't be missing it. We got by back then with radios and the telephone and mailing letters, and everything worked just fine.
Well, that's what I'm taught. That's what I'm trying to say is that, like, for instance, we're talking about tonight was the main subject, like the gentleman from Nevada, which I appreciate checking back in with me. We're talking about the presidential nomination, the Republican nomination process, and the Democrat nomination process. And has technology helped us understand our politicians more today and understand that they're freaking liars and criminals? Or back then, were you more duped than you are today, basically?
Well, what do you guys think of the delegate system? I mean, myself, I believe you should win by the votes. If I have one more vote than you, then I win. And this delegate.
But Mike, that's not the way it works. Mike, that's not the way it works now.
I wanted to talk about that for a second. I talked about delegates in the chat with Bridget a little bit. You see, Florida has 222 delegates. Florida has 222 members. They have 5 delegates. Connecticut, where I am, we have 89 members and 2 delegates. But Florida is a winner-take-all state. If you win Florida, you get them all. And other states, you get what you get.
Mike, how is it out in Wisconsin, the delegate process?
To tell you the truth, I don't know.
You have 86 seats and 2 delegates.
And 2 delegates. So okay, well.
And what you haven't heard, that there's 132 international seats and 241 Canadian seats and 5 delegates.
Wow.
Yeah. See.
Wow.
I mean, in my opinion, they should go back to the vote. If I win by 1,000 votes, I win. If I lose by 1,000 votes, I lose. If I guess if delegates weren't in play when George Bush was president, we'd probably have Al Gore in there.
You're absolutely right, Mike. You're absolutely right. I wish Joe from Sebastian, Florida was I'm scanning the phone numbers off the screen right now. I wish he was on the air. I wish he was listening in tonight, because he can give us an opinion of how it was during his time. And he comes from a latter generation than you and I and all the other callers that are on the line tonight. But I don't see his number, otherwise I'd click him on. But go ahead, Mike or Joe. I'm sorry.
1960, 62, whenever Kennedy was running, I remember watching TV, and you saw the totals change right in front of you on the screen. And, of course, we didn't have cable, so there were no cable bills. And that's what I remember. And that was 56 years ago. So I really can't be accurate on what I'm talking about, but that's what I remember.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike.
I guess I'm agreeing with Joe. I mean, the only way you could really stretch a call back then is if you had a long telephone cord of like 15, 20 feet. And that was about it, you know.
What I did is my father was part of let's just say the military, and we got military surplus. And what I used to do is run wires through the backyards of people where they couldn't see it to my friends' houses, and we would have field phones that we would talk to each other on, because that's the way it was done.
Really?
Like,
how did that work?
Oh yeah, you ever see these field phones where you pull the handset out and then you turn a crank and then the other person starts talking? Well, that's what they were. When you turned the crank, it created a voltage and it made the bell ring in the other one.
Oh my goodness. See, that's foreign to me. I don't know anything about that. But while I still have everyone on the line, there is one more number I would like to call tonight, and that is actually the White House number. And I want to see what kind of comment they can give me if I can get somebody human, other than an answer. If I get an answer machine, I'll of course hang up. But from what I know, at this time of night, they're generally through with their phone calls, because Nixon and JFK and everybody usually ended their phone calls around 6-7 p.m. Well, we'll see. We're going to try right now the White House. This is the White House switchboard.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line. The office is now closed. Your comment is very important to the President, so please call again between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Our direct telephone number is 202-456-1111. Again, that's 202-456-1111. For additional information about the White House, please visit www.whitehouse.gov. And to share your thoughts, click on the words Contact Us on the upper right-hand corner of the page. For government information by topic, please visit www.usa.gov. Thank you again.
Okay, we got her off the line. Actually, I have the switchboard number I researched today, too, so I may be able to get... I'm trying to get somebody human. That's what I'm trying to do, folks. So, and you're right. After 6 p.m., it's a little bit hard, but these are my show times, Sunday at 6 p.m. and Thursday. If everyone would like, they just got to send me an email. I can lock in another show for earlier on during the day. The problem is I need my supporters, to support the show at that time of the day, and I always, and remember, when we first began this show, I reached out to everyone, what time is good for you? Now, a lot of people have to work, a lot of people have things going on, but if we could do a show during business hours where I can call these scumbag politicians, or even the politicians we believe aren't scumbags, then I would be happy to do that and schedule a show during that time where we could do it maybe 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that would be great. So I'll look forward to hearing from people.
I just checked out that USA.gov site and the internet. This is the first time in my lifetime I've ever seen this. They won't tell you anything about it. They won't tell you who's in charge, who owns it, or anything.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I have the switchboard number, and I'll try one more number real quick. Just one number.
You see, you got their person. You got to dial 666-6666.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I'm dialing it right now. We'll go ahead and see what we can do here on this number. This is the switchboard of the White House. Maybe I can get some answers here. We'll see. I want somebody human. That's the problem. Once I get a human
For quality
person,
and training
I'll care.
purposes, this call may be monitored, but will not be recorded.
Won't be recorded, huh? We'll see. Hey, how you doing? Is this the White House? My name's Joseph Gibson. I'm calling from Blog Talk Radio, live on the air worldwide here, and I'm trying to get a hold of several certain numbers here, but maybe you can help me. How do I get a hold of Senator Ted Cruz? Can you tell me?
Sir, I can give you the number to the Capitol switchboard.
What number? You want to give me another number to call? Will I receive somebody human, or am I going to get an answering service?
There'll be operators that pick up.
The operators will pick up? Is that what you just said, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you don't mind, can you give me your first name, please? Or your employee ID number? Hello? 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 Okay. That's what you get when you call the government. We'll try it again. How's that sound? Well, we're going to call that number. Yeah, well, we're going to call her back right now. We're going to call that number right back, and we're going to tell them what we...
For quality and training purposes, this call may be monitored, but will not be recorded.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line. The office is now closed. Your comment is very important to the President, so please call again between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Our direct telephone number is 202-456-1111. Again,
I'm sure
that's 202-456-1111.
Guys,
Boy,
you just heard.
Isn't this
How
the way the
do you like that? How do you like that, folks? I received someone human, and all of a sudden now they're closed.
Isn't that the way the government works? They run around.
At 8 minutes before the hour, too.
Yeah. That's America, and that is what we're trying to change. That is what we're sick and tired of, folks. Right there. What did you just hear? What did you just hear live on the radio? I talked to a woman, and what did she do? She basically hung up on me. She didn't say so, but she did, and you heard it live on the air. And I called them back, and now they're closed.
She's probably a Colonel Sanders voter.
Folks, I'll investigate this. I promise you I will. And we're going to get back on this because that kind of pissed me off in a way. Because you know what? I think that was very disrespectful, what I just received from my supposed government that is supposed to represent me, okay? And in front of you all, and you just witnessed it yourself, and this show is archived, and I want to advertise. I'm going to advertise this show. So everyone on the internet can see what your criminal government does when you want to try to receive information or ask questions. It's disgusting. Mike, what's your opinion on that, what you just heard?
My opinion is that's government. You know, round and around we go. Where do we stop? Nobody knows. And, you know, it's that. This just gives me more inkling to vote for Donald Trump. I don't care. I don't care if they change the system, but you know what? Something has to change.
You're absolutely correct.
You know, if you try and you fail, at least you tried.
Damn right.
You know,
and that's what we're doing. And Mike, that's what I'm doing tonight. You know what? I took the time where I could have scheduled some guests tonight. I took the time to sample what our government is actually about. Well, I also knew that my caller from Nevada was going to call in, and I wanted to give him the respect of, you know, saying what he had to say. And that is my invitation will always remain to that individual because, like I said, we're a growing show, and we've had prominent international guests on this show. But like you just said, Mike, round and round we go. Where we go, nobody knows. And we need to change this bullshit. We really do. Joe and Meredith, go ahead. Give me your final thought.
You see, you're going to vote, but then we have these delegates that are going to vote for you. And then we have these super delegates that are going to vote without you even knowing it. Then we have the non-constituents who are going to put their 2 cents into the pie. And if you ever think that you're going to get a hold or figure out anything that they're doing, you can't even get a hold of the lady at the switchboard in the White House, so forget about it.
Yeah, and you just saw that firsthand, didn't you? I just showed
That's
you
right.
firsthand. Isn't it disgusting that if I wanted to talk to the people that represent me and my views and my opinions, I cannot even get through to their constituents? They hang up on me. I receive somebody live, and what do? Next time they see that number pop up, send them the voicemail. We're closed, right? I dialed the same number.
They probably got it flagged now because that's easily done. Just flag this number whenever this one calls. Sorry, we're closed today.
Bingo. You're absolutely correct. But you know what? I got a trick up their sleeve, and we'll do that on Sunday or maybe even next Thursday. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will investigate this, and I will get on top of it. And I appreciate the supporters out there and my new supporter out in Nevada. He has a voice on this show anytime, any place, Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to thank Elizabeth Rondo, who was on the line tonight, also from Wallingford, Connecticut, and Bridget from Reedsville, North Carolina, on the line, and Joe from Sebastian, Florida. I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to participate tonight. I wish you did, but I thank everyone else who did, and God bless. Take care. I hope to hear from all of you again on Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. Good night. God bless.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you were with us or you were with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war. But there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people, he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better rev than death, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous.
I feel like this all the time, trying to politically awaken people that they're being lied to, that there's an agenda. It's not left or right. It's, hey, there's mind control going on. The signal's broadcast 24 hours a day through all this media. Just become aware of it, and they'll say there's nothing going on. And I want to say, put on these glasses or start chewing concrete.
They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth.
The question is, do we all work for central bankers? That's what I want to address to our guest tonight.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
An estimated 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from a sleep disorder or sleep deprivation.
Outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners.
Latest census numbers prove the United States has the biggest gap between rich and poor compared to all westernized countries today.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
But for the first time in all of human history, mankind is politically awakened. That's a total new reality.
I've got one that can see.
We can't be the only ones who can see.
Unfortunately, you've grown up hearing voices that incessantly warn of government as nothing more than some separate, sinister entity that's at the root of all our problems.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh.
I do not wish this life to pass away, but life presents such possibilities each and every day. I heard a calling that was right for me. I prayed for strength for what's ahead of me. Show me the way. Please show me the way. The sun rose high and burnt the night away. Who stood before me was my enemy. Don't tread on me. Come to take away my life.
Hey, you there? Hello. Yeah, I was just calling with an update. I don't know if you can hear me. I missed the end of the program, so if anything relevant came up, and if I was, as it pertains to me or anything like that, missed about a 20-minute stretch of the program because I caught up at the Trump building and some fun stuff. I had to sort through to get somewhere, stuff like that. So, yeah. All right, well, good job. Excellent program. Let's call on Sunday. So, great, thank you.